can you guys get as you get the same coach and the same system, and you had so much success in the run game last year? How much better can it get with the continuity here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit for our O-line and our offense as a whole. I mean, I'd like to see our offense just as best O-line and best offense in the National Football League. I feel like that's a goal among every team, but I would say we're definitely a team who's definitely that's achievable. I mean, everyone strives for that, and that's great and everything. But I think the Bucs here, as we stand today, I think they're in a good spot to achieve that this year.
What up, Bucks fans? We are back here on a Thursday night. Hope everyone is doing well. It's good to be back on here with you all. So please join us as you are hearing Luke Gedeke there talk. We're going to probably do a film study of him coming up later in the show. Should be a lot of fun. But Mark, first of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling? We got some actual news to discuss as the Buccaneers extended the contracts of Jason Licht and Todd Bowles as well. So pretty cool.
A huge news, keeping the continuity, keeping winning culture, just mindset, a whole lot of good things to go along with that. I mean, even look from front office itself, like guys are leaving because it's been known we know how to build a team, we know how to build a roster. And then coaching wise, every damn offensive coordinator goes because not just because they do well here, but because what they had to use to get well. Right, to show off what they can do. This team's been good for a while. It just the media doesn't like to acknowledge it. So I think now it's just there's a lot we're going to talk about with Todd Bowles and Jason Licht. A lot of people applaud one, down the other. Yeah, it's a tricky situation, but it's a good marriage between them two. Like they both respect each other very, very well, and they believe it or not, Todd Bowles is the reason behind a lot of the culture. Don't just give Tom Brady the years he was here, all the flowers, as people say. Like Todd Bowles is a consistent rock that keeps the voice of the locker room going. And there's a reason why Levante keeps coming back. There's a reason why all these guys don't say it's Todd Bowles' fault, even when things are looking really bad. So Let's see. I mean, either way, it's good for the continuity of the team. I like it. Do I love it? I love the Jason Licht portion of it, but I am a big fan of Todd Bowles. It's just let's get over that hump.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out Steven here. Happy birthday, belated birthday. It's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Luke Gedeke and his contract situation because he is in a contract year. So we'll definitely touch on that as we get into the film here in a little bit. But yeah, keep Licht and Bowles. I think like you said, Mark, continuity is very important. The ability to be in the playoffs over the last 5 years, I think, doesn't go unnoticed by the Glazers. Christopher Cole, it's good to see you as always. Tall Florida guy. Jason Licht needs a lifetime contract. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be here. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure. But with Todd Bowles, I think the biggest thing with him is, the biggest thing, we'll keep that under wraps for now. The biggest thing with, Todd Bowles, I think he's making adjustments. I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen. Like so far, he's trying to improve. He's trying to not stay status quo. He's trying to find ways to be better as a coach, understand he has deficiencies, he has weaknesses, and he's trying to make sure he puts better people around him to help him in those areas. And, they went out and got a game management coach. I think that's important. I think, moving Larry Foote back to outside pass rushing coach and putting guys in better positions. Same thing with George Edwards, having more of an oversee look of the defense. And then, on offense, really not staying to their laurels, not staying, just vanilla. They are improving there by adding a Emeka Egbuka, not afraid to add more to the puzzle to, make your team better, make your defense better. If your offense can control the ball the whole game, guess what? Your defense doesn't have to do much. So I think he understands where the NFL is going, and I like that he's trying to adapt as things change.
I mean, you can argue both points a lot. Like some
Mhm.
people even dislike Jason Light. I
Yeah.
forgot who it was, the realtor guy. He
Yeah.
does not like the signings. He does not like the draft picks at points, and just like, oh, where's the value in that? Why would you do that when we need this? Jason Light, over the past like 4 or 5 drafts, I mean, yes, we can't say these guys that he drafted are going to be damn good or not, but still, the 3 before this,
Mhm.
everyone's been either an immediate contributor. There's been an immediate contributor in every one of these classes. You almost want your first round pick to be that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the case. Like sometimes people swing and miss.
Yeah.
He's been hitting so consistently on every draft, and it's just building the culture of the team, building the depth of the team, and just like slowly filling holes. But then, like you just said, Todd Bowles also agrees with this. It's not like it's both their marriage to say, "What do you need, Todd? What? This is how we rank it. Do you agree? If this guy is there, we go for it." It's not like it's I'm putting my fist down. You're not going to have any say in anything. That's why I think it's huge what these two guys have, and why sometimes people will get mad at one or the other. It's both of them together. And guess what? They just got a contract extension both together for a reason. It's because the way
Mhm.
they communicate with each other and portray that into the example of what is the team in front of you. So, yeah, and I get the Todd Bowles issues of the middle of the season lulls,
Yeah.
but sometimes you got to look at the team. Like, well, yes, there were injuries. Sometimes it's shooting yourself in the foot. The players got to execute. You can only set them up for success in so many ways. They have to execute on the field. Some of it was miscommunication with things. Can you point the finger only at one person? You can't. I mean, it's difficult time. It's the same thing with evaluating quarterbacks. You can't necessarily pinpoint it at one thing, but every now and then is one thing. A trend of multiple seasons losing in the middle of the season is an
Mhm.
issue, and that's something that needs to get fixed. Like everyone's saying, like game management stuff needs to be fixed. We hired someone to help them out with it.
Yeah.
Defense needs to do better. You're a defensive coach. You got to be better.
Mhm.
We're descending this, like with the defensive, like top 10. This is where he always was, and now he's
Yeah.
damn near the bottom. So you got to be able to show what you're good at. And Todd Bowles, it's on you.
Mhm. Yeah, I want to make it clear that, despite these contract extensions, it doesn't exclude them from specifically Todd Bowles, because I think, Jason Light has earned the right to stay. I think for Todd Bowles, he has earned it as well, but I think people can't just say, "Oh, well, if the team, doesn't perform this year, doesn't mean he's not going to get fired." Like, because if you look at this season, if the team is fully healthy going into 2025, like, and they play healthy for majority of the season, but still end up falling short. Like, let's say they get knocked out in the first round, and whether it's defense or offense or what have you, just doesn't perform. That's going to probably fall on Todd Bowles, and there could be an opportunity where they look to, switch head coaches, because the Glazers, not too long ago, they fired John Gruden after giving him a contract extension. They went to Raheem Morris because they thought he was going to leave. So it doesn't mean, this is guaranteed that he is going to be here for the long term. I think this is just a good sign showing that they have confidence in both of these guys to get the job done and hopefully get us to that next step, which is hopefully a NFC championship appearance or potentially a Super Bowl. Which, looking at this roster, you look at the team they have built, they have put together a very good roster. It has all the capabilities. Defensively, when you look at the positions from top to bottom, you have playmakers at every level that can come in and do what you need. As far as the pass rush should be improved, you have better linebacker play on paper. Secondary is more complete, more competitive. So you have all those aspects in addition to a very strong offensive line that should improve and be better than it was last year. And you have the weapons to work with, and a quarterback that is definitely good enough to get you where you want to go.
And that, I mean, that's the biggest thing, though. The
Yeah.
quarterback, it's a quarterback-driven league. So the decision maker that holds the ball in every play usually dictates where you're going to go. Yeah, great defense can get you somewhere, but you got to make plays and score points to win games. And our offense is absolutely dynamic, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, there's multiple different ways you can attack a defense with our offense, not to mention Baker can move as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I loved Gedeke's intro. They want to be like the best offense, and they expect it, right? That there's expectations of how good they need to be, not, like all these other national media outlets say, oh, well, do they fall off a cliff? Are they good enough? Are they going to be middle of the pack? No, they don't want to think that way. Tampa Bay Buccaneer players think that they're damn good enough that they should be near the top in everything on offense. And I like that. And they should have that because the offensive line's fully together yet again. Gedeke doesn't even give a crap about his damn contract year, which he should, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just a lot of good things for this offense. And yeah, if the defense gets it together this year, this team can go really far. And it's, like you said, it's Todd Bowles' way. Can we get to an NFC championship, or is it an unprepared? Either way, his playoffs games have all been tight too. So you can't even get mad at that. Like, he's usually really, really good at game planning when it's one game. The way he uses his eye McCollum around, the way he just disguises things, he's a damn good one game coach. I think it's just the middle of the lulls. If he can fix that, this is a damn good team.
Yeah, I think that's what he's been harping on to this offseason, as far as to his team, understanding the killer instinct that is needed, finding ways to not go into that rut that we see in the middle of the season. And a lot of that is mixed in with injuries. Obviously the offense losing the best players they had in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Defensively, you never had a secondary start or play together since week one. They were hurt from week one till the end of the year and just couldn't find any rhythm. The middle of the field, once Servassier Dennis went out, we talked about this, it just was a mess. And you're hoping with the added depth there, the return of Servassier, that's going to be a lot better. That will help your team. The addition of Hassan Reddick can't get overstated enough, like how important he is, not only for the team, but everyone else around him, and what he's going to bring individually, I think is going to be a huge factor. So there's a lot of things that are pointing in the right direction, and you need Todd Bowles to keep that ship on a narrow path and understand that they have to keep on going week in, week out. Like, it can't just be, we get to 3-1, we get to 4-1. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're 4-6, and it's like, what the hell happened? Like, why are we here? So that's the kind of stuff that you got to eliminate, because really, I was talking to you about this the other day, where I think I sent you, the Bucs were 8-2 back under John Gruden the Super Bowl year. And it's like, when's the last time the Bucs were 8-2? And that was probably it. Like, that is something that the Bucs should be able to achieve this year. I think being middle of the season, being at like 6-3 or 7-2, something like that. That yes, I lose my mic.
Oops. Even the microphone couldn't believe what you just said.
Yeah, that's a sign right there. So probably not going to happen, but that is something we should expect as fans, because that the roster, the team, Jason Light and his staff has done an amazing job. And yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good things for this Buccaneers team, and I think the fan base is excited, and we can't wait till it gets started here. Less than a month away. Buccaneers did announce they have training camp, settled, and they have joint practices, all that, on the docket. They did announce that the public practices are available for sale. Yes, that's right. They are selling tickets, $10 for a ticket. So, but I get it, trying to make a profit. I understand. So,
have you seen those facilities? They got to pay them off somehow, right?
Yep. Got to pay the bills. They're still paying Tom Brady. So that's what it comes down to. Yeah,
it's wild. I mean, everything's expensive. So why the hell wouldn't the Bucs training camp ticket be expensive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's wild, wild, wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so close that the itch is starting to come. I mean, yeah, you get frustrated talking about the what could be's or what is. You want to
Yeah.
see it, right? And you want to see it come into fruition. Like even the young guys come to fruition. And then how does Buka get added to this offense, right? Jalen McMillan there, you see. Add him with a Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Oh, Sterling Shepard getting vertical deep. But I mean, it's just like we were talking about earlier. It's a very dynamic offense that can be used in a variety of ways. Not to mention, what if he's like used in a way where he's in the backfield too, Ibuka in the back,
Yeah.
because you saw him do that in Ohio State. Bucky Irving, give him some reps to rest and actually use Sean Tucker a little bit more. Maybe you do see a little bit more end arounds how Grizzard did in Miami, right, with McDaniels. So like, I don't know. I'm excited to see a lot of different things, a lot of different wrinkles, but keep the same flavor, right? Add your taste of what you like, but keep that same flavor.
Mhm. Yeah, and guys, I don't know if you saw it yet, but we have a new video up on the channel. It came out today talking about this vertical offense and how I think the Buccaneers are going to try to implement more of this stuff that we're seeing here. You just want to see the efficiency go up, and I think Josh Grizzard is probably going to lean into more of the plays that we were seeing earlier in the clip, where Baker does a better job of hitting those corners, those sail routes, the digs, the crossers, stuff that he can drive the football. Even there, like he waited a little bit too long. But like plays like this, like, you got Ryan Miller open. You want to see him drive that ball a little bit further and get the touchdown there. Or even the Sterling Shepard one where he overthrew it. I think those things should improve because you're having more reps with them in practice, and especially over the offseason here, to get the timing down, to get the pinpoints of your the markers and where the ball needs to be at a certain time back there in the pocket. But that is something that I think we can see this year, where they're going to try to get more chunk plays, because last year they held the ball a lot, which was great, and they ended up scoring because of it. But I think they want to get down the field faster a little bit and have a little bit more variety of attack, to say the least.
Yeah, and like I said, like, just add your flavor. Just don't change the whole thing. Don't change the whole soup or whatever the hell you want to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be an exciting offensive season. If there's a letdown a little bit, you can't be that mad. But you still want to win games. You want to have like the balance come to fruition, because maybe it's a rookie play caller, but your defense gets better. I'll take that. But I'm still expecting our offense to be a damn good team, like a damn good overall balanced attack, because they can be that. And yeah, like I'm anxious for preseason to see what we got. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. We got, great draft class coming in here. A lot of good defensive prospects that have already proven themselves with Ben Morrison, Jacob Parrish. They're starting to, earn the trust of their teammates. So you still have Elijah Roberts, David Walker, Tez Johnson. You can't get enough of him because he's everywhere. It seems like there's a new video of him talking with someone, but he's definitely a great personality to be around. And then Emeka Egbuka is just, he's the ultimate professional. It seems like everyone's talking him up. So it should be a lot of fun to see how everything comes together. But right now you have to be excited for this team, and NFC South is right there for them again. And we got to see, hopefully they take everything to another aspect and bump it up and try to get farther in the playoffs. That's the goal this year.
It shouldn't just be get to the playoffs. It should be
right.
Some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost like how the Lions were last year. Like they were trying to go for it all, right? I feel like that's in Tampa. That's what we're kind of thinking of.
Yeah.
National media, whole other opposite. They think we're going to be first pick in the draft. But that's neither here nor there.
Right. All right. Well, with that said, we're going to transition over to this guy right here, Luke Gedeke. See him here on the screen. Out of Central Michigan, entering year 4, believe it or not, Mark. it's crazy that he starting at guard and now they moved him out to tackle that last game in his rookie year. And a lot of us thought, you know, a lot of us thought it was not going to be good. Like
Right.
he was going to struggle,
Just
because
like awful pick.
yeah, because again, he was, 6'5", 312 pounds. He had short arms, less than 33 inches. But when we turn on the tape here, I mean, the guy's just good. And we're going to see him here in the run game to start off, and just does a really good job of getting his body in position where he needs to be and being able to push guys out of the way. I think he actually got called for holding on this play. I don't know why. I didn't see a hold, but he did a very good job of just getting underneath the defensive tackle. He gets underneath his armpit here, and he just drives him towards the other way. And good job here by Cody Mock as well. They work so well together. Him and Cody do a very good job. And again, Bucky doing Bucky things, getting away from people. So yeah, a lot of fun there.
Yeah, he just displaces people very, very well. Like he just continuously drives through the play. And it was funny. Like I think it was Jason Light said he would bring Luke Gedeke in a fight, right?
Yeah.
Because the tenacity he has. And you've seen it in like mic'd up situations where he's almost picking fights these days because he just gets that much into the game. Again, going from a guard to a tackle, like the drastic transition or drastic change from a guy that looked like he didn't know anything he was doing as a guard, and he gets back to his natural position at right tackle and just flourishes like immediately.
Yeah.
And yeah, showing functional mobility, showing the strength to push guys off a spot, getting to the second level against here, Fred Warner. Like that, I mean, that's just understanding where you need to be, helping guys out, and then holding, maintaining. Look at that. He's the one that broke it out to get him an extra 3-4 yards. Like Luke Gedeke is very consistent. Let's be honest about that. Like when he was out, Baker Mayfield got sacked 5 times in one game. So Luke Gedeke is a very, very consistent staple in this offensive line, and it's very rare to have 2 bookends like how we have with Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Luke is just, again, he has risen his game every year. It seems like he just continues to get better. Super athletic for his size and the ability to move people, get them off their spot to create space for your running backs is really impressive. And he finishes blocks like here. This is really good movement skills to get on 56. Like 56 isn't slow. So the ability to get out in space, lock him, and then stay in with transition as he's moving the other way, that's pretty special to have guys like that that can help you be, versatile in your run schemes. That's why, because you have guys like this.
Yeah, the tenacity shows. Like he knows where he needs to get to, and he gets there in a hurry. And like you just said, he stays engaged the whole time. Like you're 9-3, get pushed back immediately. Give Cody Mock some credit too. Like look how quickly he transitions into this. Bang, bang, right? Help out or Gedeke a little bit and get to the second level. Like the offensive line overall is just damn good. I know we're talking about Luke Gedeke, but damn, that was nice work right there.
Yeah, he takes out 2 guys here. He gets 93, and then he's going to take out 20 with his backside here. Basically a, front and then backside block pretty much. And then Bucky does the rest with his, speed and quickness, elusiveness, almost gets the score. Now we're going to see him in transition and pass protection, where I think he's just been top notch here. The ability him and Cody have as far as stunts go, like
Right.
to be able to pass this off so fluidly, just very nice. Like just really good as far as the pass protector goes.
Like communication wise, this is humongous. Like this is him saying, I'm passing him off to you. He gives a glance, just a little glance. What's here? Little glance, and then he's right back in phase. Like that's effortless, seamless, right? It's not effortless, it's seamless. It's just how quickly he gets back into it. And then look at his hands. Immediately gets onto him, and he's in control of the whole rep. Grabs those pads, pushes them in the air. You're not going nowhere. Didn't get called for holding here, thankfully. But I mean, a call for holding could be called in every damn snap. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and again, now going up against Max Crosby, this is really good. Like I like how he just uses his hands, and then if he doesn't win with his hands, he knows how to use his feet, knows how to use his body to position himself and basically he rides Crosby out of the way, basically pushes him, gives enough space for Baker to step up here, and then Baker's going to deliver a pass.
Because think about this. So Crosby's trying to knock Gedeke's hands down to knock him off balance, right? So swat right there so he doesn't get onto his chest plate. Gedeke about falls a little bit, let's be honest. But the ability to regain your balance, stay controlled, core control, and continue to drive him out of the play, he didn't win the rep, but he stayed with it, and he ends up winning at the end. Like Crosby did what he wanted to do, get him off balance, and he's trying to win the edge. But enough, he just gets down, stays with it, keeps his legs moving. We always talk about don't just be a reacher, and then ends up sandwiching him on the top. So you got to like that stuff.
Yeah, and talk about sandwich. He's just going to sit on the guy here. Does a great job of doing a little snatch and trap there, and just gets him down. And that's awesome stuff. But yeah, Gedeke is he's got the total package in his arsenal. The ability to be smooth. Like this play here, I really like because basically calls it out. He understands he's got Rashad to back him up here, but he puts his arm out there just to keep this guy at bay, lets Rashad come up, does a good job of picking him up, and then he's going to pick up Crosby with a nice little stab there, and then rides him off to get him away from Baker.
Yeah, it's just a smart player, and that's what Jason Licht usually drafts. Guys that love football, and if you're a smart guy, right? So understanding that I can pass this guy off to Rashad White. We know he's the blitzer. Baker Ray called it out. Maybe Barton called it out. White knows to get over there. Oh, called it perfectly. We know what's coming. Then you're on an island against an elite pass rusher. What are you going to do? Are you going to reach, run? You make him make the first move. He's trying to knock your hands down again, staying balanced, and then stay in phase. That's great football right there, and just understanding what to do. Don't just be scared in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And now, facing another good pass rusher in Khalil Mack, does a good job of just absorbing this power here, and then he's going to anchor and then reposition, and you're going to see him win the battle here to push him back. So just showing that extra athleticism that he carries, and then the strength, the grip strength, all of that is in place. Like it's really nice, and gets a little help from a tight end, but then able to maintain. And he just doesn't lose many battles here as he maintains his footwork and keeps himself upright.
Yeah, because you got to give him credit. Like you mentioned earlier, he has shorter arms, but it doesn't matter. Like he understands the game of football. So this guy's going to fake inside, throw Mac, and then bounce back outside. The balance to kind of seamlessly go right back to it, get your hands on him. And he does anchor extremely damn well. There's something that, what's his name? Hainsey didn't do at all. That Gedeke does extremely well. It's anchored down. Once he kind of gets his feet planted, he's not going to go nowhere. Like I haven't seen him get bull rushed back very often. And he wants to be the enforcer, right? That's usually that's why Jason Licht wants him in a street fight, right? Because he likes to get after it and get dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. These reps coming up are some of my favorite, just like showing his athleticism and then his nastiness as well. Like being able to find work. He understands, Kadon, he's blocking someone on his own. He's going to go over there, make sure the guy's down. So, and then here, like just showing the transition to get back on the big guy. Like he's pushing this guy in, understands, okay, 58's coming around. I still have the agility and athleticism to get back and make sure he stays off of Baker.
58 is a big boy.
Yeah.
If that gets to Baker, look out.
Yep. Yeah. And then same thing here, just showing that athleticism, passing a guy off, and then being able to reestablish his feet. So he's got really good feet. Like the footwork is top notch. The ability to get back, stay wide, and then recover to pick up number 97 here. That's really impressive.
I mean, think about this in a basketball term. I know like the draft is going on and everything. Watch his drop step. So he's going left. He sees 97 in the corner of his eye. Watch him plant his left foot and then drop his hips to the right. At 300 something pounds, 315 plus pounds, that's insane. That is insane to not fall, trip over your feet, or have 97 push through you. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I would have definitely have fallen, but just show like just the the power that he displays. Now, his matchup, now this was his first game back coming off the concussion, but Carl Granderson did give him some trouble in this game because he likes to use that long arm. And I will say the long arm sometimes gets him because guess what? He has shorter arms and he just can't get his hands on you. But he does a good job of staying there, maintaining it, absorbing it, and allowing Baker to do what he does. And then here, fighting off, like, again, he gets knocked off a little bit off balance here, but again, that ability to just recover and stay in the play is really impressive. I think it's here. Yeah, it gets pushed back a little bit there. You can see it, like the long arm does get to him at times. So this is some stuff that he'll probably try to adjust for this year. But at the same time, he still does a great job of maintaining, trying to anchor down, keeping him at bay just long enough so Baker can get rid of the ball.
Because I think his biggest strength is his core strength. So, like, if he does get knocked back, his whole body doesn't, like, bend backwards. He doesn't have to – he's naturally throwing his hips back as he's progressing through his block. Like, yeah, there he kind of squatted down because of that big jolt. But then once he regains it, watch. He's like, no, I'm stopping here. You're going to get around me, okay, but you're not going to get through me. So, yeah, first game back after the concussion, yes, but still, like, the length is always going to be something that can beat him because shorter arms, physically, he just can't get longer arms. So he has to use his brain, his footwork, his understanding of what's going to be coming in front of him, film work. Like, he does all that extremely well.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, here, you know, picking up the stun with Cam Jordan, does a good job of trying to absorb this, gets pushed off a little bit, and then gets thrown off, but then he stays with it. Like, the ability to stay with the play kind of brings Cam with him to the party and then finish, you know, basically sits on him. And thankfully that ball wasn't picked off. Right. But in pass protection, when he does get his hands on you, it's pretty much you're done. Like, you're not going to get by. Like, once he gets into your chest plate, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, that's the constant hand battling, hand fighting, staying with the phase of the rusher, like not necessarily letting him get inside of him or outside. He just stays with them the entirety of the play. And that's, again, to footwork, to actually having athletic ability to stay with these guys. This guy won with a little under rip move, but I look at he got his feet tangled in there too, though. Checking him out with the left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt me too.
Yep. Yeah, lost a little balance there, but you know, for the most part, he did his job. I mean, gave Baker enough time. Baker's got to throw this ball right there, but holds it a little bit too long, and then at the last second gets hit. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to win every rep, you know, for sure.
Yeah, offensive line, you get 60 something plays a game. If he's winning 58, 59 of them, I think you're doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, hope you enjoyed that. That was a film study of Luke Gedeke, the Buccaneers' right tackle. He's entering his contract year going into 2025, and should be a lot of fun to watch this season, and should be someone that the Buccaneers can't count on for this season and into the future, hopefully. So that was our film study of Luke Gedeke. So, yeah, can't say we don't do film studies here on the live stream. We try to give that to you guys because without you, this wouldn't be possible. So we appreciate everyone here in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. So got a lot of fun things on the docket for this season. We're going to try to ramp up the film studies as we get closer to training camp. So that is a mission of mine. So you'll probably see more of me doing some solo film studies, and then we'll try to do some with Mark here. Probably on, you know, maybe Fridays coming up, and then definitely on the live stream if we can get to them on the live stream. Because
hey guys, put your mentions in there, but whatever you want, like help us help you, right? Like, we always like to break this stuff down and see. Yeah, when we like to point the finger, it's like at individual players, because maybe as a team unit, yeah, maybe it failed, but why? What was the weak point, right? And that's what we're trying to figure out. And with your guys' mentions of like, oh, look into this, look into that, we do. And that's why it's fun to kind of go back and forth and see what you guys are thinking. And sometimes people really see it right, and sometimes people are just saying wacky stuff. So it's a lot of the fun banter that we like to do. Also, yeah, check out our Telegram channel. I don't know if we put it in our or description yet, but check that out as
Yeah,
well. That's where
I'll
we're going
get
to be
that up
starting to
there.
talk a lot more and just go back and forth. So if it's not just a live stream, say you missed a live stream, hell, just go to the damn Telegram, ask questions there. I mean, we're trying to get it to be a little bit more one-on-one and fun, interactive. You can share like stupid gifts or whatever the hell you want to do. Just joke around. I normally joke around all the time instead of being serious. So if you want to do that, have fun. But yeah, like everyone has their opinion. Let's hear it. Don't just hear us talking all the time.
Right, for sure. I think. All right, I think that's the link. I just put it in the comments, so I'm gonna share it here on. Let's see. I gotta add this back.
We should put it in the description too of every.
Yeah, I'll get it in the description as well, so that way you guys have it. There we go. But there's our link. We posted that. I'm gonna retweet it, so that way you guys can see it. But yeah, check out the link, and I'll make sure I put it in the description, so that way you guys can access it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can join right there and talk with us anytime you want. If you want to bring up questions or any type of content that you guys want to see or have us dive into, or any criticism that you guys have of us, if you want me to shut up and just listen, then let me know, because I do tend to talk a lot, especially I go on rants. Mark does the same, but we try to improve every year. It's always you learn something new, that's for sure. But this has been a lot of fun, so hope you guys enjoyed the Luke Gedeke film study. We'll have that out probably in a separate video coming out tomorrow, and yeah, we'll continue as we get closer. Only less than 30 days from training camp.
Right, so supply and demand said Bredesen will get mad penalties like last year. So I mean, statistically, did he get that much more than everyone else on the line?
I don't know what his total count was. I mean, I think he'll improve because Graham Barton's going to be better. I think a lot of his struggles was trying to, worry about what Graham was doing. So I think Graham, was probably had more penalties than Bredesen, if I'm not mistaken, or at least they were like neck and neck. But I think that whole interior should find ways to get better because Cody Mock continues to ascend. You have Graham Barton entering year 2, so that's going to make a huge difference in Tristan Wirfs being healthy and being ready to go on the left tackle. That's important there. So
He had 6 penalties.
Yeah, so not bad really when you think about it. And I think Graham Barton actually had like 12 or so. So he had like double the amount of penalties than Bredesen. So that's where it's got to get cleaned up.
Yeah, and I mean, I know based off of how smart of a player he is and how athletic he is, I think that's only going to get better. Like as his brain catches up to his athleticism, I think Graham Barton's only going to get better. But Bredesen, 6 penalties, hell, like Donovan Smith got 3 in one game.
Yeah,
So, can't be that bad. So I mean, over a course of 17 games, that ain't that bad.
No, not really. I mean, that's pretty normal. That's decent number. So I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. I think the extension of Graham Barton, that's going to be the key, and I'm really excited. As we talk a little bit about the depth here, I'm excited to see who steps up on the backup offensive line positions. I know we brought in Charlie Heck. A lot of people think he is going to be the swing tackle, and we'll see how that plays out. I'm curious to see what this Ben Chakuma can bring. We did a film study on him. A lot of fun to watch. Jake Majors is another one that's getting a lot of buzz already in the offseason. A lot of people are talking him up. So it's going to be, that is something to look out for. I know Luke Haggard's still here, Mark. That was a fan favorite of yours. So we'll see what see what he can do. And Elijah Klein, a lot of hopes for him too. And you still have Sua Opeta. I think he's still recovering from his injury. So that's another name to watch and see if he can get back to form.
I mean, so let's go really quick. So put mine up there again.
Yeah, no problem.
Screen
Let
share.
me remove this.
Just to kind of talk about. So Tristan Wirfs last year, he had 6 penalties as well, 2 holding penalties, 4 false starts. And then look at Luke. After missing games, he had 10.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean, Luke, you want that contract extension, you better bring those penalties down. I mean, so like it's very, how do you see it, right? Like, I mean, let's check out Graham Barton. What did he get?
Yeah, I think he was
13. There it is.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner. Right? Like, so, like you just said, like, if that improves, I think Bredesen improves too, because he doesn't have to help him out as much. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think as a whole, there's a lot of things that also, like, just knowing the offense, knowing the scheme, knowing what you're doing and not having to think every snap, that's going to be a huge factor for these guys. And hopefully we can see, yes, less penalties, less turnovers, less fumbles, interceptions, all the above, and that can make our offense a little bit better as far as holding on to the football, allowing our defense to rest and be ready for situations where they get into the last game or the last quarter and we need a stop from them. They can go out there and they can make the plays. That's going to be what you want to see from this team, taking that next step, like you talked about, going on winning streaks, winning 4 out of 5, and then going on another run and winning another 4 out of 5, and continuing to maintain that consistency throughout the year. And when you get into the playoffs, you already know what you're capable of, and that way you can go into it, playing your best football and having a mindset of, okay, we're not losing today. We're going to get past this team and extend and keep ascending to that level that you want to be at. And hopefully that's in the Super Bowl, playing against a top AFC team.
Yeah, momentum is a real thing, right? Yeah. And a player that doesn't have their confidence, you see what happens. They drop off the map and then they end up not in the NFL. That's usually what happens. I mean, hell, look at our punter from 2 years ago. He was phenomenal. What was the Georgia punter? What the hell was his name?
Jake Camarda.
Yeah, Jake Camarda. Like a beast. Like literally, we're saying he was like the best punter, and then all of a sudden, something happened with his confidence, and what the hell happened? Right? And it happens. It's not just punters and kickers, guys. It could be any one of these guys. And once you start losing, the momentum starts going the other way. Mm-hmm. You don't think you can even snap the ball right. You don't think you can pass the ball right. You can't catch right. You can't. Little things that are so simple, you start thinking too much of. It's the same thing though of winning. Like people say, "Oh, he got lucky." No, that's just the winning momentum. Like it's just they're practicing in this way. They're just doing the right things over and over and over again. And guess what? It ends up in a win or some lucky play. Lucky means you practice really, really well, and it just happened because you've done it before so many damn thousands of times. So that based off of this team knowing what they can do from last year, I know it's not last year's team, but they know they have the ability to run the ball this year, right? They went from a team that was 32nd, 30th running the ball to a team that was top 5.
Yeah.
Right? We know we can pass. Baker's the most cocky guy there is. That's the thing I love about him. So the confidence is never going to be low with this team.
Right.
But you need that to continue to move forward and push forward and have guys lean on you saying, "Oh, no, we're going to do this because I know we can get through this." Tom Brady had that silent confidence in this demeanor that, "Oh, we're just going to lean on him because he's going to get us there." You can have that collectively of this offense. Like there's so many good players that are good at everything they do. So I think that needs to continue to happen. Same thing with the defense. We weren't this piece of crap that we were last year. Like, let's get that bad taste out of our mouth and move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Mark Andrew here with number 1 seed, I think that's definitely attainable. It's possible. Mediocrity culture. I think the bar is definitely being raised this year as far as getting further in the playoffs and trying to compete for a Super Bowl. That's what this team's trying to do. I don't see the mediocrity. I can't talk. But I don't see it being that way as far as the culture. I think they have higher bar and higher standards this year and trying to be better than what they've put out there so far. So I think that's going to be important. The main thing is staying healthy, finding ways to be better than what they had last year. And I think we've heard that all offseason with Josh Gazard, taking it to the next level. He keeps repeating that. I think with the defense, again, it's just, can they stay healthy and not lose everyone in the first week of the season? That's going to be important. The addition of Hassan Reddick, a lot of big hopes for him. But I think everyone is still forgetting about how good Yaya Diaby is, Kalijah Kancey, Vita Vea. Like, these guys are good. Like, let them go out there and make plays, rushing more with 4, blitzing less. And then if your rushing with 4 works, guess what that's going to open up for Todd Bowles? The blitz. So it's a thing of beauty when it all comes together, and hopefully that is this year.
I think about what I just said, like confidence and stuff like that. So if we're winning with 4 and the right tackle, left tackle, I think about Yaya and Hassan Reddick, what the hell they're doing to them every snap. And then all of a sudden you have Antoine Winfield Jr. or Tyke Smith blitzing off the edge. Like, what the hell was that?
Right.
Right? What just flew by me? Like, it makes you start thinking, like, holy shit, now I have to be worried about this, that. That's why Todd Bowles' crazy dynamic blitz schemes work, but you have to have some pass rush to go with it. Vita Vea can't lead you in sacks, like you said a couple of years ago. So, yeah, you need the front 4 to win. Hassan Reddick's a huge step to move in that position, right? But another thing I saw Steven Stansfield said, beat the Lions in Philly. So what Brutal Bucks was saying, mediocrity is culture, or mediocrity culture. I think, again, I mentioned this earlier, your quarterback takes you really, really far, right? You're talking Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts. Jared Goff is a really smart quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. Jalen Hurts, he's a mediocrity. Their defense was phenomenal. The Lions and Philly just have really good teams.
Yeah.
Well-built teams. I think the Bucs are a really well-built team. It's who doesn't shoot themselves in the foot. The Lions had amazing play callers, and then they had their best edge rusher get hurt for the year. That's a big reason why they didn't go as far, too. They couldn't lean on him. Got to win with their front 4. Philly's front 4 was disgusting. Their secondary was disgusting. So Philly just didn't need to mess anything up on the offensive end. And what do you know? They go up and put up 40 against the Chiefs in the playoffs. So in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, either way, I'm not going to say that those teams are mediocrity, but I'm saying the whole team in itself is good. Their quarterbacks are middle of the road. I would never put them as top 5 quarterbacks. So can Baker raise the level, and can our defense get better?
Yeah, I mean, those are valid points and valid questions. That's remains to be seen. And I understand, the fans' frustrations with Todd Bowles as the head coach, but at the same time, you have to look at what he's done and what he dealt with as far as the injuries, keeping this team together, turning the ship around when it was important, finding ways to get into the postseason, and make some things happen. But I said it earlier in the pod, like, he is finding ways to adjust and understands what he is deficient at. He's trying to add to those aspects. I think Jason Licht did a good job of understanding Todd's weaknesses and making sure this team was in a better position, especially in the secondary. You have much more depth there at the cornerback spot. You have a good safety room with the addition of Tyke Smith going to safety. You have Antoine Winfield, who is a huge part of your defense, and him being fully healthy now, and hopefully he can stay healthy. That's going to be important. And then understanding that you have a new offensive play caller. So guess what? You go out and add Emeka Egbuka to make things easier for you, make things easier for Baker Mayfield. And I think bringing back the entire offensive line to have them gel, to keep not only Baker more protected, but hopefully avoid avoid those sacks, avoid the bad plays and stuff like that. Try to eliminate certain situations where you can get points and make sure you do get points. And I also feel like they're going to lean more into that running game because they know how successful it can be. And we saw that with Bucky Irving. And he's entering year 2. You still have Rashad White, you still have Sean Tucker. So there's a lot of factors here in the mix where they can easily be one of the best teams in the NFC. Not if the best team, like they have a chance to compete for that number 1 seed. I don't think it's out of the realm or the possibility of accomplishing that.
Yeah, I mean, so like again, this is something where supply and demand mentions. Like, no, other teams know when they play the Bucs to light us up in the air for years. So last year, 100%, right? Especially the Falcons. But like you mentioned earlier, again, there were so many injuries since week 1. There was injuries. Antoine Field Jr. gets hurt at the end of that game. You have an elite level talent player go down for weeks. Jamel Dean gets hurt probably 3 weeks later. One of your corners is out. Not to mention Winfield's out. You're putting guys like Funderburk and Josh Hayes out there to be counted on. An undrafted guy and like a 6th round pick, 7th round pick. So it's just some of it's excuses, yes, but some of it's valid points. If you saw some of the tape that you were watching, it's like, damn, they're just immediately getting wide open. So it's too much of an easy decision for the quarterback. You don't think the coaches are telling him, oh, pick on this guy immediately. Like, look at this guy. He don't even know what the hell he's doing. Yes, that happens. And then to Brutal's Bucks point, Hurts is a scheme, though. He's not supposed to light up a stat sheet. He's supposed to control and clock and move the chains. Every scheme, the quarterback has to make decisions, though. It's not necessarily it's just a scheme. Like, what is the scheme? Black magic or something like that? Like, either way, he has to just think, am I handing this ball off? Or am I throwing it to my first read, second read, third read? Or what I have to make decisions. Like, because their offensive line's phenomenal. It could break holes open for Saquon Barkley easy. So it makes decisions after the fake play action fake a lot easier. So it's not necessarily the scheme. The play caller's doing it well, and he's executing well because they bit. It's not necessarily because the scheme, right? So it's a lot of things that go into it. So I think he's a good decision maker. He just doesn't want to make many mistakes, but he does make mistakes. If that answers the question.
Yeah, and I understand, like, the contract extension for Bulls and why people feel like that's not the good decision there. But like I said earlier, it doesn't mean the Glazers can't fire him after this year if something goes drastically down the drain or goes in the wrong direction. Like, let's say they end up, for whatever reason, finishing 8-9 with this roster. And if 8-9 and they're healthy, then obviously something has gone terribly wrong as far as Todd Bowles and the team. I just don't see it happening that way. I think there's too many things projecting for this team to progress and go in the right direction and continue on that upward trajectory. Like, it's hard to not see this team, at least in the divisional round, if they do what they say they're going to do, as far as what they've been talking about this offseason so far. Now, again, action is louder than words, so we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't get too caught up on the contract because these guys can get fired instantly. Even Jason Light, like, let's say it just all goes wrong, they could easily get fired. And we've seen that happen before. So I wouldn't put too much into it, but I also understand where they're coming from because of how bad defensively they were during stretches of the season throughout the year.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We picked it apart too. Like, we're defending them, but it's also acknowledging, like, there were times where even we were like, no, he got to go.
Yeah, I mean, we thought Liam Cohen was going to be the coach. We thought he was going to take over, and I think at one point the Glazers, thought about that, but I think they also realized what the staff and what Jason Light and Todd Bowles have done so far. They want to see this thing through, and they want to see the continued improvement. They understand they want to see progress and get into the divisional, get into the NFC Championship game. Like, that's the standard this year. Like, the bar has been set. The pressure is on for Todd Bowles and company. So I understand the disappointment that was last season, and it did ended abruptly. But at the same time, you have a very young team that is continuing to progress. So I think they want to continue to see that and see how it turns out.
I mean, even referencing Philly, like when we beat them in the playoffs a couple of years ago, they go out and fire offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. They kept the head coach. Everyone's like, they should have fired the head coach.
Yeah.
And then a year later,
Super Bowl champs.
Super Bowl champs, right? In dominant fashion. So it's like you can't think of what last year was. You got to think about what happened and improve on that. Yeah, year after year, that's what it is. Because
guess what they got? They went out and got a dominant football player in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They got a very good football player in Barkley. But behind, what is their strength? Their offensive line. So when you have a good offensive line like the Eagles do, and you go out and get the best running back and add that to the team, that gives you so much ammo to do what you need to do, and also protect your quarterback. That obviously passing is a roller coaster for him. It's kind of up and down process, and you have your receivers out there and AJ Brown and et cetera that can make plays, and even they had a fight through the season, like where that he wanted the ball more and stuff. But wrapping this back to the Bucs, like the Bucs have a very good offensive line. They understand what their strengths are. They have an up and coming running back that was one of the best in the league last year. And they're going to continue to lean into that, I feel, more. You also just added another receiver that is not only going to take pressure off of Mike Evans, but probably make him better too. And then Kate Otten, et cetera, all these guys coming in place. But guess who the Bucs added this offseason that is supposed to be a legit difference maker? Hassan Reddick, one of the best pass rushers in the league over the last 5 years, racking up sacks. Like, they're expecting a lot from him, but it's not just him. He's just adding a component to raise the bar of the defensive line. And when Todd Bowles has a good defensive line, guess what? He was in the Super Bowl beating the crap out of the Chiefs, basically sandwiching Patrick Mahomes into oblivion. So, yeah, I mean, you got to understand what they're putting into place. And I think that's what the Glazers see. And that's why they were rewarded with the contract extensions.
And yeah, I think it's just too much of recency bias. What did you see? What was the last thing you felt?
Yeah.
Like making rash moves like that. What I think the Glazers learned from last time they did a big decision like that with like John Gruden firing him, realizing the culture was good. We're competitive every year. Okay, maybe at the end of the year we went down. I think we're still 9-7 at the end of that year. We just missed the playoffs, and then he gets fired, and then you go in the pit of hell of just nonstop losing seasons. Right? I mean, that's what it was. I think we won 10 games with Josh Freeman, and then what happened then?
Yeah, stupid Kellen Winslow with the pass interference, but whatever. Yeah, we didn't make the playoffs in 2010.
It took a while to get back.
And then after that, it was just losing years, Dirk Cutter years, and I think and then Bruce Arians' first year, we ended up 7-9, and they were like, okay, well, we're done with Jameis Winston. That it's the 30-30 season. I'm still waiting for ESPN to make that a documentary. But
30 for 30.
Yeah. And you go out and get Tom Brady and obviously take advantage of that and win a Super Bowl. But I just feel like this team is just continuing to rise. You have so many young players, like all these guys under age 25 that are going to continue to make impact. That's huge. And you're building a very good core that's beyond what you have with like your older players in Levante and and Mike Evans. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, the window, they only have like a couple more years in this window. I was like, no, the window is still there as long as you have Baker, you have the coaching staff in place, and you have Jason Light to facilitate the prospects that you already have on this team.
And it's not like you're never going to draft another guy. You're not going to find another talent.
Right.
Like Baker's the biggest chip. Your offensive line, another massive chip. Because you can put guys to run behind them. You can get more weapons for Baker.
Yeah.
As the scheme, give Real Bucs a little tidbit on that. The scheme's there. The system's there. The understanding of how to run the system is there.
Yeah.
You can just put guys in there and have Baker teach them and say, this is what I expect from you in this route. If you keep changing it nonstop, then the quarterback can't teach the wide receiver. They can't tell him what I like in this situation. It's more everyone's learning on the go. So it's good that the system kind of stayed. They can add wrinkles to it and see what they liked from last year and add it to this year. So I think the window, yeah, like you just said, it's going to be open for a while, especially if the defense improves. Because like that's one thing where I disagree with the Eagles are the same as the Bucs. Offensively, yeah, we got a good offensive line, same. But their defense was phenomenal.
Yeah, they're good defense.
Their front four was ridiculous. Their second front four was ridiculous. Secondary was ridiculous. So like they had two linebackers that were phenomenal. They were really stacked on defense. We need to get to a point where we're a balanced team, not just be an offensive team. Yeah, you want to hide your weaknesses with your strengths, yeah, but you can't have a weakness that's that bad and glaring. And I think they collectively have fixed a lot of things. They got an edge rusher. They got more depth at middle linebacker. They got a lot more depth in the secondary. Are they going to be the rookies like how the Eagles rookies were last year? You hope, but I mean, I wouldn't count on it, but I still think they're head and shoulders over what we had from last year, like putting out Funderburk and Josh Hayes. I think those are bigger steps up.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll wrap it up on this as we're hitting the hour mark. You know, we talked a lot about like what are the key strengths for this team. Obviously, offense is still a strength for the team. Defensively, we could probably go into more of that on the next live stream that we have and talk about some of the question marks that still remain with this team, especially on the defense, because we talked about it. Linebacker, can Servassier be that guy? Can he be it for a full season? The pass rush, can Hassan Reddick ascend back to what he was? Kalijah Kancey, et cetera. All these guys, Yaya Diaby, can they take a step forward? What is going to happen with the nickel position? Can you survive the nickel spot with Jacob Parrish being that, replacement? Is Tyke Smith going to be the nickel? So there's still some question marks in your secondary room, Jamel Dean, et cetera. Like, are these guys going to bounce back? So that is something we'll set up for the next live stream and kind of go more into our concerns and kind of look at it more half glass, full and stuff like that, and kind of see how things look. And be a little bit more objective. I know we came out strong in today's show just talking about we should feel excited of the potential of this team because they are trajecting towards that way, but we still have to see it come out on Sunday. So I think that should be a lot of fun to dive into on the next one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I want to talk the defense. Is this the biggest thing that needs to be improved, right? Yeah. And we all know it. Help. That's why people don't like that Bowles got signed back. So let's see how can he fix it based off the signings and improved scheme of the defense.
Yep, absolutely, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a jam-packed episode as we went into discussion about the extensions for Jason Light and Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers GM and head coach, get contract extensions, and then we touched on Luke Gedeke and did a full film study of him. So be sure to check that out. We'll have that in a separate video, probably likely dropping tomorrow or Saturday. And then we'll try to be live again sometime, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe after the 4th of July and get things rolling again as we get closer to the start of training camp, start of preseason. Should be a lot of fun. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to hit that like button. Yes, hit that woo button, and let's all have a great weekend and go Bucs.
Woo!